That makes it nice.
It makes it real nice.
Yeah.
So.
No, I hear you on that.
Yeah. And so then how do you kind of protect that time with your wife in terms of date nights and intimate time with her, time with your kids, all of that whenever entrepreneurship, especially nowadays, it seems like it's a 24/7 job.
It is 24/7.
Like you have Lord's Child, which is a brand.
Yeah.
Obviously you have social media for that.
Yeah.
A lot of social media influencers say it's a 24/7 job, always got to be posting stuff like that. And so it seems like it could be really easy to get carried away from that. And I mean, I can even say that as, you know, as us who are running, you know, Perspectives Worldwide, the charity, you know, a lot of work goes into that. And so I've seen myself get carried away where there's times where I don't think I have time for family or friends or whatever. So how do you protect that and be intentional?
So with it, it's like with being intentional, like the key, you know, it's like you have to want it. Okay. When we want something, we're going to do it. If I want to eat something, I'm going to go eat it. You know, when we don't want something or it's not a major thing on the list, it doesn't happen. So for me, like with my wife this year, it was like, hey, you know, things are slowing down, COVID, different things like that. I was like, you know, we kind of did a lot of the legwork of getting certain things set up, like with Lord Shaw, with Montel. So it's kind of like certain things are just going. So I was like, this year, you know, like really, I want to be us to be intentional with each other, with time and different things. So like, even for me, like what's big now is like, you know, like we're doing this podcast. I left my phone in the living room. We're just like, I'm leaving over there. Called my wife right before and was just like, hey, I'm doing this podcast, you know, for the next hour, 2 hours. If you don't hear from me, that's what I'm doing. And then the phone, the phone is a blessing and a curse in the same sentence.
It can be a
lot. Because it's
yeah.
like, you know, to the point where I realized I was like, yo, I'm too attached to this thing.
Yeah.
Like, if I get free, I'm like, first thing I'm doing, like, I started realizing, like, I go to my phone, boom, I'm like indirectly going to Instagram. Just boom, boom, boom.
Default. Yeah.
Just default. Boom, boom, boom. Like, before I even check emails, boom, boom, like, I'm just like, yo, and I'm getting stuck, and I'm like, I'm too worried about caring about people's lives.
Wow.
It doesn't benefit me.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to be up to date, and like I don't have to be up to date.
Yeah, because there's something that's like, yeah, you love them, and so you want to keep up with them, but in terms of just always keeping tabs on them, it could fall into that like trap of comparison.
But there's also too, I follow a bunch of people I don't know. I just know, you know what I mean? I just know them, of them on Instagram. They don't benefit anything in my life.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, Lord's like, you're giving things too much time. And it's like I had to start looking at my like day, like, okay, how much time am I giving to this? How much time am I giving my wife? How much time I'm giving to my daughter? And then started like breaking it down, and then like having my cutoff with certain things, like, oh, yo, like, you know, me and Hovey, like 3-hour time difference. So like I wake up early for certain things, but then I get to a certain point, like, yo, I'm off the grid for a little bit, and I have to set those boundaries. Like for our anniversary, you know, we're gonna go to Florida, and like I know when I'm in Florida, I got to answer certain things, but overall, I'm like, all little stuff don't hit me about.
Yeah. So then, how do you go about finding that balance? Because you talked about Montel and Hovey, and, and you mentioned I think one more.
ISLY.
Yeah. How do you find that balance? You know, you're married, you have a daughter, you're trying to balance all these different things.
Yeah.
Your relationship with God, how do you balance all these things?
The beautiful thing is like we have Jesus, so it's like him leading our steps. He's gonna help me balance it. He helps me balance it. There's times where I'm like, I got all these things on the list, I gotta do it. And the Lord's like, no, let's knock out these 3 things first.
Yeah.
These other ones can wait a little bit.
Yeah.
So I kind of go like, all right, Lord, here's everything. And he's like, okay, here's some other stuff you forgot about. And he's like, let's do these things first. So it's like, you know, it's an oxymoron where it's like, you know, we read things in the Bible and just like, okay, yeah, that's easier said than done. But it's when we're really walking with the Lord, and we allow him to lead, he's going to take a lot of that burden off our shoulders.
Yeah. And I've even seen it from being in a new position at work, and we've talked about, you know, me stepping on, being in college, passing out the church where I'm at, and having so many different responsibilities now, where I'm trying to figure out how do I manage my time, you know, for myself with the Lord, time with people, time with friends, and it's so just hearing that, you know, brings about a good, something good for me to take away, like Jesus is able to lead you in the midst of all these different things.
Oh yes.
You know?